that I wanted to like open up was like over the years, my mindset has evolved to being like super focused on, let me just make a lot of money, to, well, I have everything that I need. Like after the house and car, like you don't really need much more. You know, being able to travel from time to time, it's just bigger, nicer things. That's all that changes, right? Once your needs are met, food is met, you have all your basic needs. At that point, I want to make sure that everyone around me has that same level of comfort. And once you've established that, now it's time to optimize the team. Everyone, we're all growing, we're all learning, we're all getting better. And I want to start really getting into what's your true purpose? Like, why are you put on this earth?
That's exactly where I was going to lead this. This is really what the center of our conversation right now is purpose. I mean, spending money is nice, right? Giving it feels way better, right? It really, really does. But I feel like when I started my career, and I think you're probably going to share this also, is that it was about making as much as I could, as quickly as I could, and there were very few people around me that were really benefiting from that. It was empty. It's empty.
But you have to go on that journey. Like, I think it's okay. It's okay for you to spend a couple of years of your life to be like, look, I don't have time for hanging out with people. I'm not trying to establish a relationship. I don't want to get married or get in in a super serious relationship with any other person. I just want to focus on me. I want to focus on my education, my income, my skill set, because it's going to attract the right person into your life if that's what you're looking for. So I think you are 100% allowed to have selfishness in your life, to focus on yourself, to get what you want, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I see all these people that are like, oh, I've poured so much into this person, or I spent all my time around other people. It's like, what if you took a couple of years to just focus on yourself? Imagine the amplification of greatness that you could have if you started with a bigger base. And that's why I think it's totally okay to be selfish for a couple of years, build yourself up, do your thing, but some people get sucked into it, and that becomes their personality for the rest of their lives.
The Bert Show was very satisfying to me when we were becoming successful. It became exponentially more exciting for me when we started Bert's Big Adventure. And this is the trip that we take down to Disney World with kids that have chronic and terminal illnesses.
And I absolutely love that. Like, I keep up with that content all the time.
God, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is incredible.
It's purpose. That's purpose that we're talking about.
How did you decide on taking kids with disabilities to Disney World?
Yeah, so years ago when I mentioned Kid Craddock to you, he had a very similar trip, and I was on his show for 2 years. So he took some kids down to Disney World also that have chronic and terminal illnesses, and when I was part of his staff, I thought, look, whenever I start my own show, I want to bring that to my city. And I only realized years later why that specific trip connected with me so much. And it's because my parents never took me on vacation. We never had that time together whatsoever. So as I got older, I realized that the time that these families have together is limited, like anybody's, but some of these kids we're talking about aren't going to be here in a couple of years.
Limited,
they're fighting a fight they can't win. So it became I started to understand why that trip was so important to me. I wanted to provide for families that experience that I never had in such a unique way, which is Disney World. And one of the qualifications for our kids that this has to be your very first trip to Disney World with your family. So that's the purpose in the Bert Show and Bert's Big Adventure.
It's powerful, man. Like, when I went to that event, I was like, first, I was very impressed by just how beautifully everything went and how seamless it was, how involved all the actors and actresses and parents were, how all the, the Bert Show team, everyone was just like all in and excited. The energy was high. The vibes were great. And I felt very proud to be a part of it.
Thank you.
100%.
You've been a huge part, and I loved putting you on, and I love that you were so reluctant to come on. Because you really don't talk. I mean, you gave us a huge donation to one family, I think it ended up being over $10,000, didn't it? Just that day? Or was it more than that?
I don't share my donations publicly.
Oh, yeah, but you're going to ask me what my retirement number is.
I'll tell you mine. That's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
But you were so reluctant to come on, which really made me want to have you on.
Yeah.
Because it really showed where your heart was.
Well, I really don't like to share my donations. Like, the only people that know, my wife doesn't even know how much I donate. Yeah. I think that's something between you and your creator.
Agreed.
And I also believe that if you can't donate when you're broke, You will not donate when you're rich.
There's also other ways to donate. When you're broke, your time. You can donate your time.
Oh, 100%. And even like, so I have this sort of nonprofit organization. It's not really a nonprofit. I just do work for nonprofits to help them get donations online. And the way we do it is I realized I'm good at social media. I'm good at the content creation. I'm good at the sort of web development, creating the funnels, getting people to elicit some sort of transaction from them. And because I have, a decent knowledge of Islam, I know how to establish the right type of content to get people to click on a link, to go to a website, to make a donation, to become monthly donors. And I get more satisfaction out of that than anything else that I do. And
Why?
Well, first, because I know how badly nonprofit organizations need it because they mostly suck at marketing, right? The Goodwills of the world don't need your money. They're not nonprofits, because they're not. They don't need your money. It's the organizations that are really trying to do some good for the community that you don't hear about. Like they supported this refugee family and were able to give them shelter for a couple of months and meals. This is not something that you're going to hear about. You go to Clarkston, it's the biggest concentration of refugees in Georgia.
All right.
Yeah. And so, if you ever want to do something good, go out to Clarkston and just meet with some of these families and give them whatever it is, whether it's food or clothes or money or whatever you have. And the reason this nonprofit digital donation business that I have feels good to me is because I'm actually utilizing my skills for a win-win situation. And so I'm exposing them to a way to collect donations because most organizations don't really have a plan. They just ask and then hope that it ends up working out. So we create a plan that gives them consistent residual income from donors through digital platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And we create the videos, we create the website and give them something that works. And I think that's something that I can impact not just local communities, but nationally and internationally. It's a really, really big idea that feels really good doing it. And I just want to keep doing a little bit each year, keep getting better at it each year. But kind of taking it back to the donations, I like to donate even when I am unable to, because it has to hurt a little bit. Because if you're not giving up something at least significant, or that you can't feel it, you're not really giving. So that's my perspective on donations. And we also believe as Muslims, you can never go broke from donating. You can't go broke from giving something that you already have, right? You're not going to go into debt.
Right.
It's against our religion to go into debt or even donate while you're in debt, because you obviously have other obligations to other people. It makes sense. But just get in the habit of donating, even if it's $5, $10, whatever you can. Round it up for the Christian's Hospital at the checkout counter at Publix. Whatever small little thing. I think getting in the habit of these donations unlocks a piece of your heart that you're never going to get just from the financial aspect of your mind.
Couldn't agree with you more.